सेव किया था ना?
मैं सिर्फ इसलिए गया था क्योंकि उसने मुझे कॉल किया, that's it. But listen तो.
Save it for someone else.
जिंदगी में सेव करना जरूरी है, मगर जब बात पैसों की हो, सिर्फ सेविंग से काम नहीं चलेगा। इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड्स में इन्वेस्ट कीजिए और अपने सेविंग्स को आगे बढ़ने का मौका दीजिए।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
The outrage over the premature release of Anand Mohan Singh, the killer of Krishnaya, the IAS officer and DM then of Gopalganj district in Bihar, that rose and that seems to be subsiding, fading away now. Obviously, the Anand Mohan Singh story, it seems for now, does not have the same sex appeal, say, as that of Atiq Ahmed and his clan, or even Mukhtar Ansari and his clan. We live in divided, polarized times, where we also divide mafia activity and gangsterism also on the same basis, on the same polarized basis. Anyway, leaving it there for now, let's look at a few dates and a few events and a couple of names. And then I will tell you why, to understand what exactly has happened with Anand Mohan Singh, what caused the death of Krishnaya, and subsequently what caused a non-stop spiral of violence in not just Bihar, but also involving gangs in Bihar and eastern UP. In fact, on the extreme east of UP, say in Gorakhpur, how did that spiral get set off? That's why, to understand the whole Krishnaya issue and Anand Mohan Singh issue, you have to first of all look at a couple of dates. So the first date is 4th of December 1994. That is the date on which a man called Chotan or Kaushalendra Shukla, in these places, particularly in gangster life, most people are better known by their nicknames. So Chotan Shukla, parents named him Kaushalendra Shukla. Chotan Shukla was one of the three siblings, Chotan, Bhutkun and Munna. So Chotan Shukla was killed, you can say assassinated. He was an election candidate for Anand Mohan Singh's party, the party that he had floated called Bihar People's Party. He was a candidate from that party. He was campaigning. There was firing. Obviously, it was a planned hit by a bunch of people, including one of the police constables there. And it was like indiscriminate firing with automatic weapons. AK-47s by this time were being freely used in Bihar as they were in UP, parts of eastern UP. So Chotan Shukla was assassinated like that. That is 4th of December 1994. The next day, that is 5th December 1994, a procession of Chotan Shukla's supporters, led by who else but Anand Mohan Singh. They were taking his body out in protest on the highway, and it so happened that at that point of time, exactly at that point of time, by really a stroke of bad luck, Krishnaya was coming back from a meeting in Hajipur in his official car. He was not the district magistrate where this incident took place. He just saw this angry crowd and he thought he will get out and reason with them. The crowd, however, wanted to hit anybody, particularly anybody who represented the state. And that's how the mob got hold of Krishnaya and then killed him in revenge for the killing of one of their own, that is Chotan Shukla. In fact, if you see the trial papers, trial of Anand Mohan Singh and others in the killing of Krishnaya, and also I read the accounts in the Hindi press from that time in Bihar, it is said that Anand Mohan Singh, actually angry, furious because he was leading this mob, his gang member or one of his key lieutenants had been killed, and not just by anybody. That key lieutenant and some others had been killed together, 1+4 of them were killed by another rival gang, by hitmen of another rival gang, and that is why they were so furious. So he's supposed to have said, "Hey Bhutkan, fire jhok, Chotan ka badla le lo," right? "Hey Bhutkan, fire, take revenge for Chotan's killing," right? And that is how Bhutkun pulled out a pistol and shot Krishnaya. So that is how that happened. Now, why did I say that to understand this, you might need to understand what happened 4 years later. So that is the other date. So I'm making you leapfrog forwards now. So come to 13th June 1998. 13th June 1998, a man called Brij Bihari Prasad. Now remember that name. It will keep coming back in our discussion, because unless you understand the Brij Bihari Prasad phenomenon, you cannot understand the Anand Mohan Singh phenomenon or the assassination of Krishna. Also on how, with what alacrity has the political class in Bihar got together now to get Anand Mohan Singh a premature release. It's all part of the same story. So Brij Bihari Prasad in 1998 was the state's minister. This was the Rabri Devi cabinet. He was the state's minister, hold your breath, he was the state's minister for science and technology. He was better known as the head of a gang, of a very powerful gang of Baniyas, right? So once again, as you see these stories, you will understand that just as it's a cliche, we say terrorism is no religion. Similarly, gangsterism is no caste, right? Because every caste has its own gang in the Hindi heartland in particular. So Brahmins have their, Thakurs have their, Bhumihars have their, Dalits have their, Yadavs have their, middle castes have their. In some cases, castes combine also. It's a free-for-all. So Brij Bihari Prasad had built a very formidable gang of the Baniyas, right? So formidable that even now when I research on him, I find stuff written on internet, and I'll quote one for you. It's from a publication called Janmat Ki Pukar, which might be a community publication. It says, headline says, Deen Dukhiyon ki awaaz the Vaishya Ratan Brij Bihari Prasad. That he was the voice of the poor and the downtrodden, are Brij Bihari Prasad. So Brij Bihari Prasad, this Minister for Science and Technology, had earlier served as Minister for Energy in the Janata Dal cabinet in Bihar, right? Seems to have liked science, etc. At this point, what was he doing in Patna? Taking a stroll in the hospital. So this hospital was not a chota-mota hospital. This was the Indira Gandhi Institute of Medical Sciences. What was he doing there? You know, just as we say patriotism is the last refuge of the scoundrel, that's the old saying. A hospital, a government hospital, is the first refuge of a political crook and a political gangster. And that's the pattern that I find political gangsters follow across the country, especially in the heartland. So he was arrested. He was arrested for a scandal, for a scam in fixing admissions to engineering colleges in Bihar. Not very different from what's happening in West Bengal right now, right? He was himself the Minister for Science and Technology, so I presume that these colleges came under his watch, and there was a scandal in admissions to these colleges, and that's how he was arrested. But as soon as he was arrested, or soon enough after he got arrested, he said he must have complained for chess player or something like that. So he was shifted to Indira Gandhi Institute of Medical Sciences with a bunch of escorts and flunkies who were looking after him. So this evening, 13th of June 1998, he was taken out for a stroll in the medical college, in the medical institution compound with his flunkies, when a car stopped, an ambassador car stopped. Some people came out, a couple of people. Initially, they pretended to seek his help, to ask him for help, to get favored medical treatment to one of their own, maybe suggesting that he is from their patient is from their constituency or their community. And while Brij Bihari Prasad was giving instructions to another flunky to make sure that this patient is looked after, people pulled out AK-47s and emptied a lot of the magazines at Brij Bihari Prasad and his people. Now, Brij Bihari Prasad and 4 others were killed immediately on the spot. This was a big hit in Bihar because a serving minister, while in judicial custody, had been killed in a government hospital while he had his personal bodyguards from the Bihar Armed Police or Bihar Military Police, as it's called. So that became a bit of a scandal. Of the 9 people involved in the hit, or allegedly involved in the hit, I have to say allegedly now, and I will explain to you why. 1 was not caught, 8 were caught, 8 were later convicted by the trial court conclusively. One of these was Munna Shukla. Munna Shukla, one of the siblings, one of the brothers of Chotan Shukla, who had been killed, we just told you, on 4th of December 1994. What is the connection? I will just explain to you. So Munna Shukla was one of the assassins who was convicted Among those convicted also was a man called Suraj Bhan Singh, who was a politician from Mokame, who was widely known to be the gun runner, maybe the runner of the biggest gun running mafias in Bihar, who had been providing automatic weapons, particularly AK-47s, to a lot of the gangs in eastern Uttar Pradesh as well. So all of these 8 people were convicted. Later in 2014, as late as 2014, Patna High Court acquitted them, saying that CBI had failed to establish the charges against them. Now, if CBI has filed any appeals against that, if the appeal is still sitting in Supreme Court, it's been 10 years since those acquittals. I don't know what's happening, but I won't be surprised because this is how these cases disappear. So now back to the connection between 4th of December 1994 and 13th of June 1998. The fact that Chotan Shukla was assassinated on December 4, 1994, and now among Brij Bihari Prasad's killers was also allegedly Munna Shukla. I told you earlier that I now might have to start saying allegedly again because these were convicted. Since then, these have been acquitted. So I have to say allegedly now. So Munna Shukla. So why was Munna Shukla now, if he was there, allegedly there to kill Brij Bihari Prasad, and what was the connection with his brother having been killed 4 years earlier? So the connection is that Brij Bihari Prasad had a gang which was a rival of Anand Mohan Singh's gang. As I told you, these were caste-based gangs. Anand Mohan Singh's gang was mostly a Thakur Rajput gang, but also had an alliance with Bhumihars. So Chotan Shukla, Munna Shukla, Bhutkun Shukla. Shukla makes it sound like they were Brahmin, but they were not Brahmin. They were Bhumihars. Bhumihars are like a caste between Brahmins and Kshatriyas or Rajputs in the heartland, which is very difficult for me to describe. At least it's out of the context or out of syllabus for today's discussion. But Bhumihar caste in this case and the Rajput group of Anand Mohan Singh, they had made an alliance. And Chotan Shukla was a candidate of Anand Mohan Singh's party. Anand Mohan Singh believed that the hit on Chotan Shukla and his other party men was carried out by hitmen of Brij Bihari Prasad's gang. Brij Bihari Prasad's gang was a Baniya gang, right? So this was a caste rivalry, it was a political rivalry, it was also a territorial rivalry. Again, to understand how strong those territorial rivalries can be, see the map of Bihar, or this part of Bihar. If you see it carefully, you will see Nepal on top. There is Nepal on the top, which makes for porous border, so armaments can come and go. Also, there is a lot of refuge. You can do something here, go on the other side, do something there, come on this side. This is a very badly maintained, very badly patrolled border. You can imagine how it was in the 90s. Again, you can see a bit to the west or sort of northwest is Gorakhpur. That is the connection with the extremely distant and extremely backward parts of Uttar Pradesh as well. And Gorakhpur, as we know, has been the home of the deadliest gang and gangsters in Uttar Pradesh or in the Hindi region for a very long time. So this is a very tough zone. Again, draw a line, say from Motihari right up to Vaishali, and you can go a little bit beyond Vaishali. Motihari to Muzaffarpur and then Vaishali, you will see Shivar in the way. That is the area that is the area that Anand Mohan Singh operated in. It was also the area that Brij Bihari Prasad operated in. So there was also a territorial fight. Brij Bihari Prasad, if anything, became a lot more dominant than Anand Mohan Singh. How dominant? I will tell you. So Brij Bihari Prasad, not a nice guy. Among the people he is supposed to have killed or got killed was Devendranath Dubey, who was a Samajwadi Party MLA from the same region. Now, Devendranath Dubey was himself not a nice guy. Nobody is a nice guy here. He was also a proclaimed offender, right? And he had carried out many terrible crimes himself. So he was killed, and as he was killed, then the Dadagiri of Brij Bihari Prasad was established in that region. He became so powerful that in early 1998, while he was in jail, early 1998, he was able to ensure his wife Rama Devi's election from Motihari, defeating BJP strongman Radha Mohan Singh, who subsequently became Agriculture Minister of India in the first Modi cabinet this time. He was defeated by Rama Devi. It so happened later, I'm again leapfrogging some periods, it so happened later that Radha Mohan Singh also figured that there was no point fighting with Brij Bihari Prasad, his family and his hold, and also Rama Devi. So he made his peace. Rama Devi was attracted into the BJP. She's been in the BJP. She's been thrice Member of Parliament for the BJP from Shivhar, which is a constituency adjoining Motihari, adjoining what used to be Motihari. After delimitation, Motihari became East Champaran. So East Champaran has been left to Radha Mohan Singh. Rama Devi has been winning from Shivhar, and again, watch carefully. In 1996 and 98, two parliament elections, which candidate has won Shivhar? The candidate that won from Shivhar is none else than Anand Mohan Singh. So you can then see that this is also a bitter, heavy territorial fight where no prisoners are taken and no prisoners were taken. So once again, for clarity, Rama Devi, that is Brij Bihari Prasad's wife, defeated Radha Mohan Singh of the BJP in 1998 in Motihari. Then Motihari gets delimited. By delimitation becomes East Champaran. By that time, some truce happens between Brij Bihari Prasad family and the BJP. Rama Devi joins the BJP. Brij Bihari Prasad obviously has been assassinated already in June of 1998. So in 2009, 2014, 2019, three consecutive elections, Rama Devi wins for the BJP from Shivhar constituency, and Shivhar is where Anand Mohan Singh won twice in 1996 and 1998. The fact also is that in the course of time, his wife, Lovely Anand, who inherited his politics, most of these dons, when they go to jail, they run their politics through their wives and through their grown-up sons, usually. So he was running it through his wife, Lovely Anand. In fact, on a couple of limousine liberal trips through Bihar during elections, we have met Lovely Anand and their son Chetan Anand during election campaigns. So she was the one contesting. In fact, she contested from Shivhar twice, in 2009 and 2014. Shivhar against Rama Devi, BJP's Rama Devi, Brij Bihari Prasad's widow. In 2009 and 2014, Lovely Anand contested there. The first time on Congress ticket, the second time on SP ticket, but in between, just around 2000-2001, she also dabbled with the BJP, or maybe the BJP indulged her. So once again, to make the point, and that everybody has played games with everybody in this case. Now, I told you that 9 assassins had come to kill Brij Bihari Prasad, of which 8 were caught. Who was the 9th and what happened to him? The 9th escaped, but he was killed shortly afterwards. The 9th was none else than Sriprakash Shukla. If you've heard of a show on ZTV called India's Most Wanted, he was among those. In fact, he was in his 20s, maybe mid-20s, maybe late 20s. Nobody's seen his birth certificate. Somebody might have seen his death certificate, but nobody's seen his birth certificate. But he was that young, and he had earned sufficient notoriety in Gorakhpur at such a young age to deserve, quote-unquote, an entire episode of India's Most Wanted on himself. So he had earned enough infamy in his mid-20s to earn for himself, or to quote-unquote deserve an entire episode of India's Most Wanted for himself. It so happened that within a week of that episode being aired on ZTV, he was killed. UP Police Special Task Force caught up with him in Ghaziabad and killed him. This was the famous story of the Blue Cielo, where he was coming in to meet his girlfriend. He had been careless about the use of his phone. The cops tracked him on his SIM card. Now, he may have been careless in the past as well, but then the cops were not targeting him so much. They were not so bothered by him because he also must have made his deals here and there. This time, word had spread that he had taken out a supari on Kalyan Singh, who was then the BJP's chief minister in Uttar Pradesh. So in that encounter, he was killed. Again, look at the dates. 13th June 1998. 13th June 1998, the hit is carried out on Brij Bihari Prasad. The hit gang is led by Sriprakash Shukla, who's come in from Gorakhpur. Why has he come in from Gorakhpur to Patna to kill a Bihar politician? That's because Suraj Bhan Singh, who's the provider of automatic weapons to many of these gangs, and who a lot of them lionize and who patronizes a lot of them, he might have wished, or at least that was the case, that he's the one who allegedly wished for Sriprakash Shukla, the expert assassin, to come in from the other side, from the other side of the river to organize this hit on Brij Bihari Prasad. So 13th June, Brij Bihari Prasad was killed. 22nd September, Sriprakash Shukla was killed by the police, by UPSTF. And then you know what? His gang was not yet finished. And I will close on that point because these gangs have endless power. Even after he got killed on 22nd of September, within weeks of that, on 5th of November, a UP policeman called Pritam Singh, who had been a member of this STF team that tracked down Sriprakash Shukla and killed him. So this Pritam Singh was assassinated. Later this gang was put down, but it doesn't mean that other gangs in Gorakhpur had died out at the same time as well. That activity carried on for a very, very long time. Since the politics, crime nexus and gangsters have been in news for the past couple of weeks, this is the fourth in our series of episodes of Cut the Clutter on the subject. You might have seen through this series that these gangsters, these mafiosi, they cut across religions. So it's wrong to say, it's wrong to believe that these gangs only belong to Muslim groups or only Muslims make gangsters. They're gangster, or to think that lower castes make gangsters or maybe people of one caste make gangsters. Now, if you see how widespread is the reach of these groups and gangs and their leaders and how closely knitted politics and crime is in the Hindi heartland, then you will know that you cannot make any determination or any definition or any discrimination based on religion or caste. This is a function of lawlessness, this is a function of really bad politics, and this is a function of really poor development. So what can I do in conclusion? I can do no better than take you back to Vishal Bhardwaj's film Ishqiya. Remember in that one, two chota crooks, two minor crooks played by Arshad Varsi and his uncle Nasiruddin Shah. They come in from Bhopal to Gorakhpur. They've done something funny in Bhopal and now they're looking for refuge in Gorakhpur, and then they find in Gorakhpur that gangs there are far too many. There are several gangs and they are much nastier than what they might have seen in Bhopal. So Arshad Varsi tells Nasiruddin Shah कि मामू यहाँ से वापस चल सकते हैं. Uncle, let's run away from here. Let's go back to Bhopal, because in Bhopal at least we only have Shia and Sunni senas, only Shia and Sunni gangs. In this place, everybody has a gang. Thakurs have a gang, Brahmins have a gang, Yadavs have a gang. This is too much even for us to handle. So reflect on that and think of the crores of Indians, crores of the poorest Indians who live in these districts of UP and Bihar. It might also explain why they remained so poor.